It is March. We have a bunch of numbers on the whiteboard. What do they mean? We'll get into it in this edition of Whiteboard Weather. My name is Anthony. We have a whiteboard, and of course we have some weather, so let's get into it. First, I'm over with the snow. I think we're all over with the snow. I know March we can get some snow, but I have to update the snow ruler because technically we did get snow last week. It was just a trace of snow, so now we're just above 37 inches in our backyard. So I'll just put a little number like this, little divot like that, and just go like that. Forget it. It's kind of like you're at the doctor's office. Just a little perk, a little pinch. That's it. We're done talking about snow for now. So let's talk about what these numbers mean. So I got three numbers here. And it was a little bit of a cheat the way I use these numbers. These numbers apply to our weather. So 4354, that is the high temperature at the beginning of the month and the high temperature at the end of the month. So 43 to begin the month, 54 to end the month. And that's basically what that means. The average low goes from 23, just another number, to 32 degrees. So we're seeing those improvements in our forecast with both the high and the low temperature. This next number, yeah, I said we're going to talk about snow again. That's the average amount of snow we get in March. It's 10 to 12 in February and January, but it's on average 7 in the month of March. But something that is a bit, I want to say the word a bit disturbing is that our record snowfall in the Scranton area actually happened in a March, and that was 2017. When 22 inches of snow fell in a single day. It was 30 throughout the entire month. So 22 in a single day, and then 30 throughout the entire month. And we can get really, they say this almost about every month besides like July, I guess. We can really only get a little bit of snow or a lot of snow. So it's a very wide range. And as you probably noticed, we're starting off the month on the wet side, but not snowfall wise. So this last number is a number I'm pretty sure a lot of you would be happy with. The average first 70-degree day is March 24th. So that's when we see our 70 degrees for the first time. Haven't seen it yet this year, and the Scranton area hasn't gotten to 60 yet. Areas like Williamsport and State College have already gotten to 60, but Scranton average first 70-degree day is March 24th. So I think we're done with this side of the board already. Usually I spend a little bit more time, but it's time to flip the board. And the last couple weeks, I've been showing this map. I like to draw and like to create new things, but I want to show you what's happening with our weather and why you should care about it. So we're going to grab this red marker because right now we've been in a collision zone. There's been a stalled boundary, something like this, all week long. So it's a clash between warm and cold air masses. The way we draw it in meteorology is a stationary boundary like this. All right, now this has been stuck, and you're probably like, okay, what does this mean? So if you've ever seen a cold front or a warm front, cold fronts look like this when we draw them, and then warm fronts, you have to include the space. That's really important. And then warm fronts look like this. These are basically boundaries between warm air masses and cold air masses. So down south, it's a warm air mass, but it's also a tropical air mass. So this is the boundary between warm and tropical, or further towards the north, which is cold, and I apologize for writing out of slant, which is cold, dense, heavy, and dry. So these two collide, and this is what happens all year round, but it just so happens that we're not in a very amplitude pattern. Whenever we get an amplitude pattern with the jet stream, that means these fronts are able to move and progress, but the flow is so east to west that these fronts aren't able to go down or up or down or up. They've just kind of been stingy. So that's basically what's been happening. And along these boundaries, what happens is there's little low pressure waves that form along them. Now these aren't storms, these are just little, we call them disturbances that form along these. So we had one earlier this week on Tuesday, Wednesday was a bit of a weaker one. Then we had one yesterday, which got dumped a lot of rain. We had about an inch in Allentown. I think an inch and a quarter in Allentown. And then about a half an inch in the Scranton area. And some saw a little bit more, some saw a little bit less. But the warm tropical air holds more moisture, so that's why you see a little bit more rain generally further south with these systems. So that's been controlling our weather pattern. But something that you are probably looking forward to is this warmth. So I want to do something I haven't done yet. So I want to show you today's high temperature. So keep mind to what's behind me. This is breaking the rules of whiteboard weather, but I want you to show you this. I'm making sure we got this. In Pittsburgh, in State College, the high is 54. In Scranton, the high is 42. But if we zoom out, I'll show you this. The high today in Pittsburgh was 67 degrees as I'm recording this. It may even get towards 70 degrees. That is the type of air that is right on our doorstep. It is literally right on our doorstep. So imagine here being 70, here being 40, and then all the way down here, they're in the 80s and touching 90 actually in South Florida. So this gradient, this warm front is now lifting up further towards the north. So we're no longer talking about the stationary boundary. We're getting a kick in the flow here that's going to nudge this warm front further off towards the north. It's going to clear everything out, and with this, it's also going to kick out some clouds as well. We'll still have some clouds for the weekend, but the clouds will be gone. This damming of air that we've been seeing, this cold, dense air that's been so stingy, that will all leave, and this warm front is going to lift further off towards the north. So Saturday, depending on how much the clouds clear, I'm saying we're going to be in the mid-50s, call it 56. On Sunday, we'll be even warmer. I think we'll be pushing the 60s. I'll call it 60 degrees, just to be honest. And Monday and Tuesday, I think we could be like 66 to 68 because of this warm front that's going to lift north for us and make things a little more tolerable. But although, remember, our first 70-degree day happens in late March. So if that does happen on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, that means we're a bit of ahead of schedule. But we deserve it based on the cold winter that we had. Yeah, so that's, I guess, your edition of Whiteboard Weather. This feels like a shorter edition, but I think we got to the point. I think we got to the meat and the bones. I'll be here next week, and I think next week we're going to be talking about the potential for some snowfall that will be coming. So that's a little bit of a tease, but we'll talk to you next. My name is Anthony Bordenaro here in the Storm Tracker 16 Weather Center. Have a good rest of your day and have a good weekend.